In my country, a man can cause a ruckus at the airport, block a plane, and walk away not in handcuffs, but with a brand new title, Aviation Ambassador. Yes, you heard me well. This is looking like one of those Nollywood film, right? So, as our elders say, if you reward a thief with a crown, don't be shocked when the market is empty by the morning. I hope not the year not the talk because every day in Nigeria now, it's like when you think you have seen the worst of the worst, you just wake up one morning and you see what you cannot even believe. Every day with fresh drama, moving from the spectacular to the bizarre, from the bizarre to the unbelievable. Okay, so can you imagine the level of absurdity that we have reached in this country? Just picture it. Nigerians still fuming over the unruliness of Fuji musician legend Kwamwan at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja just a few days ago. The allegations were not small, carrying a prohibited flags, suspended to contain alcohol, spilling it on airport staff, disrupting flight operations, and allegedly blocking a value jet aircraft from taxiing off. In other countries, that's not a small matter. I tell you, my people, that's a serious security breach, and it has to come with the heaviest of punishment possible in the land. In fact, under certain aviation laws, that kind of behavior could be interpreted as hostage taking or even terrorism related disruption. Because I watched that video over and over again, and I was asking myself that how did this man even get to that point? How is it that he was not stopped before getting to that point? And imagine the audacity of standing in front of the aircraft and even making those calls and saying, do you know who I am? Man, that guy has to, it's so painful that after all that we have seen, the videos are still all over the social media. After saying that, and the next thing we hear is what we heard today about making him an aviation ambassador. Come on, come on. Who does this? Who does this? Do you know that in many nations, that will have meant detention, arraignment, trial, and possibly jail time? Yes. But this is Nigeria, my country, where laws sometimes have two faces. Yes, you already saw it, especially in relation to the comfort case with the Akwa Ibom Air. Now, here's where the big man syndrome walks in like, it owns the place. While Nigerians were still digesting the news of his 6 month flight ban, another name, Comfort, had already been dealt the harshest punishment for what was, by all accounts, a lesser offense. Because what Comfort did was just, she was just being stupid, trying to engage the crew member by trying to fight and stuff like that. And I think that happened after a lot of people have left the place. Okay? But in the case of Kwamwan, he was actually at the tarmac, at the front of the airline, threatening that they will not move until they do his bidding. Okay? So this is the stark difference between these two cases. Okay? So now, Comfort did not block the plane, like I said. She did not spill anything on any staff. Yet she was slapped with a live flight ban, arraigned immediately, and locked up in Kirikiri. And the speed with which this was done, is on Nigeria. It happened with the speed of light. Same industry, same laws, same country. Two completely different applications. Yes. One for the big name, another for the ordinary citizen. And you want me to believe we are serious about equality before the law in Nigeria? Come on, come on. But just when Nigerians thought the story had reached peak injustice, our leaders decided to stretch the limits of disbelief. I tell you, this country, this country pass cruise. Just when we are in this state of outrage. That is when our leaders decided to stretch the limits of disbelief. Minister of Aviation Festus Keyamo stepped forward with a smile, announcing that KWAM 1's 6-month ban will be reduced to 1 month. Yes, you heard me well. 1 month. And not only that, just here, not only that, all criminal complaints, will be withdrawn completely. And then the cherry on top, God. Fan will now work with him as an ambassador for proper airport security protocol. How? How did we get here, for God's sake? How is it an ambassador for proper airport security protocol? Please help me. Is it that my brain is no more coordinating well? Because I'm not seeing the connection here. I'm not saying it. Ambassador from accused disruptor to national aviation role model in less than 2 weeks? Tell me this is not a Nollywood plot, right? Because I'm not getting some of these things again. Oh. And the irony, Comfort, who supposedly, committed a smaller infraction, is still sitting in the cell. Her life turned upside down. Her name has been stained. Her career destroyed. But KWAM 1 is about to appear on posters smiling about airport discipline. Even though we have heard that Comfort has been, all criminal charges against Comfort has also been dropped, and that they've also asked the Ibom Air to lift the life ban. We also heard that. But even at that, very soon, I tell you, KWAM 1 is going to be appearing in many posters, billboards all over the nation, telling us about airport discipline. Just watch. Because this is my country, Nigeria, where everything is possible. Let's be honest. What message are we sending to Nigerians and our young ones? What message are we sending to the aviation industry and to the world? That if you are famous enough, connected enough, rich enough, the rules simply don't apply. That lawlessness is negotiable if your face is on the right album cover. Is that not what we are doing? Because here's the bitter truth. This is not just about KWAM 1. This is about precedents. Yes. Tomorrow, another celebrity might decide to flex at the airport, knowing that at worst, they will get a slap on the wrist and a government handshake, like it has been done to KWAM 1 right now. This is about the erosion of respect for institutions. And I keep hammering on weak institutions that we have in Africa. And I keep telling people that the difference between Nigeria and most developed countries is the fact that they have institutions that work. Yes. Social media is not keeping quiet anyway. Nigerians are calling it a national embarrassment, a slap in the face of the working class, a clear display of two sets of laws, one for the privileged, one for the powerless. Some even say this is why Nigeria struggles to be taken seriously on the global stage. Because if our aviation authorities, the very people responsible for security, can turn a breach into a brand endorsement, what hope do we have? What hope do we have in this country? Imagine explaining this to the International Civil Aviation Organization. Yes, we had an incident where a man disrupted airport operations, but instead of prosecuting him, we made him our ambassador for airport security. If this was not real life, it would be comedy, I tell you, my people. And that's why I say this country are now big, big rules. Sometimes it feels like maybe our brains are no longer working. And for those saying, oh, he apologized, he showed remorse, let me remind you all. Comfort could apologize from morning till night, and she will still be behind bars. If not for the fact that, okay, they felt that, okay, if we are doing this to KWAM 1, we have to do something for Comfort. That's the only reason why the criminal charges against her has been dropped. That's the only reason, I tell you. So what has saved her now is KWAM 1, because KWAM 1 was involved. Remorse only works in Nigeria if your name can fill a concert hall. That is what it appears. As our elders say, when the goat sees the farmer feed the thief with yams, It learns to read the band. Yes, now. God. We are teaching the wrong lessons, I tell you, my people. And the long-term implications are very, very dangerous and ominous for this society. You cannot preach discipline in public when you reward indiscipline in private. So could this have made more positive impacts if KWAM 1 had been arraigned, charged, and prosecuted fully under the law? Absolutely. And that is the way to go. That will have sent a clear message, a clear signal that no matter who you are, aviation safety is sacred. Instead, we send the opposite signal because we'll be in Nigeria now. And the signal is break the rules and you might just get a government job. Are we really serious as a country right now? This is not just a KWAM 1 problem. Oh. For those of you who think that I'm taking this too personal, this is not just about KWAM 1 problem, I tell you. This is a Nigerian problem. And until we stop this circle of selective justice, our laws will remain a joke. Big, big joke. And the joke will be on us. And this joke will ruin all of us one day. And I'm going to just conclude by saying, when the fence is broken for the king's goat, every goat in the village starts entering the farm. Yes, now, if we keep rewarding bad behavior with titles, don't be surprised when every airport we depend on become a playground for chaos. Nigeria, the world is watching. And right now, the applause is not for our music, but for our madness. Yes, you heard me well. And with this, I want to just end it right here. But I believe for those of you who have watched and listened up to this point, you know what I'm talking about. There's so much outrage as a result of this announcement. But it is what it is. This is my country, Nigeria. And it's so sad that this is where we are at this time. What do you think about this appointment? Making him aviation ambassador. What do you think about it? Please make your contributions very objective. No abuses. Just say your mind and let's take the conversation further. Thank you for being there for this young channel. God bless you. I'll be right back. Bye bye.